The lock set's next, and they're set 34 to 36 inches off the floor. I'll make this one 36 inches. But just in case you have a pre-finished door, or one that you don't want to make marks on before it's stained, don't mark directly on the door, put a piece of masking tape on it. Now I'll put the 36-inch mark up here and square that around the door. Across the face, the edge, and the other side. Now I'll mark the back set, and this lock is 2 3/8, so I'll set my combination square, make this mark, and then mark the other side. But I'll have to put 2 marks on this side. This is 2 3/8, but the door is beveled, and that's about a 1/16, so I'll have to move that over. About that much. Then I'll mark the center of the door. Now this door is 1 3/8, so half of that would be 11/16. Make the mark and check it from the other side. Now I'll use my nail set to mark the centers. Now I'll show you what this 2 3/8 back set means. This is the latch, and when that goes in place, this will be flush across here, and the spindle that operates it will go right through there, and that's the center line. Well, the standard size hole for a cylinder lock is 2 1/8 inches. This has a pilot bit that I've started on the center punch. Drill partly through one side and then come in from the other. And now the latch hole. This is 7/8 of an inch, but some will require 15/16 or 1 inch. Now I'll put the latch in place. Make sure that it's lined up on the sides with the door, parallel. Use a hard lead pencil and mark the outside edge. When I take it out, I'll chisel this line and then route it with my electric router. Use a wide chisel now with a bevel in, but be very careful about this line. Too much pressure and you could really split that right out. This is just a score. Extend the line. Now just widen this a little. Well, here's the latch. I'm going to route this freehand, so here's how I set the depth. That's it. I don't try to make a finish cut with the router. The big advantage is to establish the depth. I stay away from the lines and then clean them out later with a chisel. I've marked for and drilled the pilot holes, and now I'll try the latch. All right, now I'll close the door and mark the latch. Now I'll set the depth of the latch with my square and then transfer that to the jamb. First you mark the depth, then transfer the lines over for the top and the bottom of the latch. Put the latch plate up in place. Line it up for the cutout, and then mark around the outside edge. There has to be a hole in the jamb for the latch to go, and that's called a keeper. It's bigger than the latch itself, so I'll just center it by eye. I've modified this spade bit with a chainsaw file, and it sure cuts nice. I want this strike plate to be flush with the surface of the jamb, so first I'll mark the outsides of the plate. Notice that the bevel is in, and I'll make a series of chips and pare it out. I'll just guess at the depth, and when I pare it, I can take it down. Just like a Volkswagen. Before I leave the door, there's a couple other things I'll show you. Sometimes you have to cut the bottom off. A ½ inch would be the normal clearance on the bottom of the door, but it really doesn't matter. Just so it'll close the obstructions. Several ways you can go about it. You could scribe it, or suppose you had an additional floor thickness. It could be tile or an area rug or a marble threshold. Just put the material up and then mark it. Suppose the door has been taken down for new carpet and it needs to be cut off. Just take the measurement from here down to the new surface and then measure from the same point on the door. Now I'll show you how to cut the bottom of the door off.